Hi guys! So today I am setting up my new bullet journal for 2020. I'm very excited to finally be putting pages into this. It's been sitting on my desk since probably about September now. But I wanted to start off the new year with a new one. This is my first that is actually dot grid. I used an old notebook with line paper for my first year of bullet journaling, and this just feels like I'm finally got a proper journal to do it in. It's given me a lot more space too, since my old journal, half of it was already used up for notes. So the first page that I am making here is my year at a glance, and I've kind of interpreted it more as a lunar calendar, just to help me keep track of like the lunar dates, the Sabbats, and I also added in the Celtic tree months and when the meteor showers were, because I thought that was some good information just to have at a glance on the calendar format. I'm also labeled the supermoons and the micromoons and all that because I love keeping track of that kind of thing. This page took me an incredibly long time to do. It was really good practice for cursive though. I haven't done cursive in quite a while. I actually had to stop at some points and look at my chart of letters to remember how to do some of them. Oh, and I messed up number 3 because that's supposed to be one of the meteor shower dates, which I'm using a little star symbol to create. And for the lettering, I'm using a Micron Pigma pen. It's the 0.25 millimeter line one. So it's very thin. You just have to be careful with these ones that you don't press too hard because you'll actually bend the tip of them. Found that out the hard way. So the Quadrantids meteor shower, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. The wolf full moon. It's also lunar eclipse in January. I love working with that kind of energy. And then we have rowing month. Now for the Sabbats, I actually like to use the astrological dates. And I'll add a little symbol here for in bulk. And here's where I messed up again, writing 22 and 23. Trying to skip the day there. Now at this point, I managed to spell in bulk wrong. Unfortunately, my white pen wasn't going to cover that, so I had to go for the whiteout, which kind of sucks because the pages are an ivory color, so it's quite noticeable, but oh well. I added a little pop of green to the leaves that symbolize the Celtic tree months, and I'm using my Staedler pens to do this. I also add a little bit of yellow to the stars for the meteor showers. The moons, I added a little bit of silver pen to them just to make them shine and stand out a bit more. So with the calendar finished, I moved on to the design that I wanted to put on the left-hand side. Now for this, I was really inspired by geometrical tattoos, and I put a lot of symbolism into it. So as you can tell, I've got the triple moon design. But the center, I am also coloring gold to represent the sun. So it has both the goddess and the god elements in it. The rest of the design is an arrow. I have one pointing up and one pointing down, kind of symbolizing as above, so below. And then in the background, I have a compass. And there's a few other things like the 3 beads on the arrows. The green accent color I used because I found that it kind of went with the little green leaves and kind of made the calendar pop a bit more. Now I was going to add this dotted circle all the way around, but halfway I decided it just looks better like that. Now my original idea for this bullet journal was that I wanted it to kind of look like an old grimoire. I wanted a lot of borders and drawn elements and kind of more scrapbook because that's more my style. So I added those little things in every now and then. And here's the calendar finally finished. I think it turned out pretty good. So the next spread is my birthday tracker, and I decided to go by zodiac sign. So again on this page I'm using my black craft paper and using my silver pen. I'm separating it into the 12 zodiac houses. So the notebook itself that I'm using is called a Tru Red Dotted Journal. I picked it up from Staples for, it was fairly cheap. It was cheaper than the Leticons that I saw there. And the paper itself is actually pretty decent. I probably wouldn't be able to do watercolor on it, but it holds up to pen pretty well. The only one that I had bleed through was a dark brown Staedler. And with 256 pages, hopefully it'll be enough room to put everything that I want in it. Once I finished adding all the symbols, I labeled them and added the dates all around the circle. For the constellations, I used silver and gold pens, and it was really difficult trying to find a reference that was accurate for the constellations, because everybody had their own little interpretation of how they should go. I checked Wikipedia, I checked NASA, and they were all a little bit different. It was really strange, so I just kind of took my best guess of how to make these. Now this one was supposed to be the full constellation of Ursa Major. Now adding in the actual birthdays, I used a light blue. And again, this is one of my Staedler pens. Around the edges, I added a border and a little bit more stars just to kind of fill in the space. And there we have the finished Zodiac birthday spread. So this next spread is my tarot of the year, and I won't fully fill this in until the end of December, but I wanted to set up the page just to have it ready. And using brown craft paper this time, I left myself a little space on the sides to write down kind of little interpretations, I guess, of the cards that I pull. And then in the middle, I'm going to draw a picture of the cards. I wanted to do a little fancy border around where each of the cards were going to sit, but it didn't really look right. It took up too much space in the squares, so I just ended up doing something a little bit more simple. Now each one of these squares represents 1 month in the year, going around in a circle, with one extra card in the middle to be your guidance for the year. So I hope this is giving you a few ideas of what you can add to your bullet journal. I've got quite a bit more to set up, so I'll see you in the next video. Bye!